A few weeks ago, I asked you guys to comment your unpopular opinions on Sonic, basically your Sonic hot takes, opinions that most people wouldn't agree on, also known as opinions that make Shadow read it like this. And I did not expect that many responses to be there. 400, Jesus Christ. So of course we're not gonna read all of them in this video since there's too many, so if your opinion doesn't show up in this video, I'll do a part 2 if the video ever gets to 5,000 views. But otherwise, here we got a lot of Sonic hot takes to talk about, so here we go. This is me reading your Sonic unpopular opinions. Some of them are bad, some of them are good, starting off with this one, by Sweet Tea Girl. Sonic and the Black Knight / Secret Rings are very underrated games. I had an amazing time playing them. They're some of my favorite games ever. Now these two are best known as the storybook games. They were on the Nintendo Wii back in 2007 and 2009. And by the way, even though I don't agree with some of these opinions, I still respect them because they're your opinions and everyone can have their own opinion. In my personal opinion though, I think Black Knight is a good game. Secret Rings, not so much. Mainly because the motion controls. A lot of people be saying just play the emulated version instead. The game was officially released on the Wii. And even though the Wii has support for normal controllers, the motion controls are forced in both of these games. Now I do think Black Knight did it way better, but Secret Rings is just really painful to play in my opinion. I'm glad that you like them, it's just that they're not for me at all. I prefer more control over the game, you know? I think the storybook aspect is really great in both of these games though. Like, these games have amazing stories, and Black Knight probably has the best writing in any Sonic game. So yeah, on the gameplay side of things, I don't like these games too much, they're not really too replayable for me, but the stories are great, and I can definitely see why someone would really like these games. So yeah, I'm really happy you like these games. This one is from Imaginary Space LOL. Wade is actually a great character. Gets exploded by Nuke. Okay, let's be for real. Even though most of us don't like the amount of screen time Wade got in the Knuckles show, it's kind of wrong to say that the reason was because Wade is a bad character. Because personally, I think Wade is a great character. Did he take up too much screen time in the show? Yes, he did. But as a side character in the movies, he's really fun. And hell, in the Knuckles show, he even has a lot of touching moments. Plus, Wade has an amazing taste in music, and the whole second episode where Wade tries to rescue Knuckles, that was hilarious. Easily my favorite episode of the bunch. The only reason I think people might actually dislike Wade is because of the amount of screen time he takes up. And even though I didn't really like the Knuckles show just because it didn't focus on Knuckles, that still doesn't mean that Wade is a bad character, because I really like Wade. And when he showed up in Sonic 3 for like 2 seconds, I was extremely happy. So yeah, I do agree with this one. Wade is a really cool character. We got this one right here from the amazing Junkman. The Werehog is fun, except for those tightrope sections. Looking at you, Empire City Knights and Eggman Land Knight section 2. Now, even though the tightrope sections are really PTSD inducing, the Werehog is fun. I do agree with this one. I know, I'm a little biased because Unleashed is my favorite game and I like both sides of the game, but I think the Werehog is a great gameplay style. People might say that it doesn't fit in with Sonic, and if you think that, then that's on you. Me personally though, I really enjoy the Werehog. I think he's a really fun gameplay style, and I do think that the Werehog's addition in the story makes it feel a lot grander. Plus, the game would have been way too short if it was just daytime sections. Werehog is really fun. Here we got Henry Ford's blackmail account. I didn't even know he was still alive. IDW is peak. Sonic Cast needs a redesign / remodel. Sonic Movie 1 was peak. A new game where Silver plays a crucial role needs to come out. IDW is peak. I do agree with that one. I don't read a lot of comics, but from the ones I read, it's a really fun story. I like the Metal Virus plot. That one was pretty cool. And some of the original characters are really cool. There's some great characterization of characters in there, and from what I've seen, IDW is pretty cool. Sonic Cast needs a redesign / remodel. Yes, absolutely. The Sonic Cast definitely needs a redesign. We've had these stupid ass renders since like 2007. We need a change. Sonic Movie 1 was peak. I do agree with that one. Sonic 1 is awesome. Is it as good as Sonic 2 or 3? No, but it's still a really enjoyable movie, and it's often overlooked because the other ones are so much better. A new game with Silver definitely needs to happen. Sega has ignored Silver for way too long. Seeing Silver back again in the spotlight would be awesome. We definitely need a year of Silver, much like there was a year of Shadow. So yeah, I actually do agree with all these takes. Very nice. MCGR31 says, get ready for the most jaw-dropping opinion. I think Sonic is a hedgehog. When I read this, my jaw actually dropped to the floor. I think I might have broken some concrete. Everyone in the comments spams Sonic is not a hedgehog. We gotta prove them right. The Dark Age was the best era. As a fan that loves Sonic Unleashed, I kinda wanna agree with this, but yet again, the Dark Era is called that for a reason. Most of the games weren't very good, and by this point, the Sonic series was mainly seen as a joke. Sonic 06 was a bad game. I know people really like it now for some reason, but no, Sonic 06 is not a good game. Same with a lot of the stuff they put out during this time. Sure, there was more Sonic games, but quantity does not really equal quality. There's no way someone's playing Sonic Chronicles right now, or the god-awful Sonic 1 port on the GBA that for some reason messed the original game up. How do you mess up a game that's already good? I'll give you this, I don't think the Dark Age was the worst time for Sonic, as I do think the worst time for Sonic was around the Boom era, but I don't think the Dark Age was the best era. I can definitely see why people like it though, and some of my favorite games in the series came from there. So you know what, I half agree. I'm 50-50 on this one. Let's see here, the Hammer Guy 94 says, people dunk on Shadow's boosting animation of just him floating, but canonically his jet Bat's shoes are propelling him forward, so this is lore accurate. And you know what? I think you're right. After all, they are called air shoes, so he's supposed to be floating. PK Fire Pew Pew says, I actually kinda like Roger Craig Smith as Sonic in some of the more recent games. Jason Griffith and Ryan are still on top for me though. And yeah, Roger Craig Smith is very underrated as Sonic. Sure, when Sonic Colors and Generations first came out, he didn't sound like the Sonic we were used to, so of course many people decided to hate on him. But I think he's a really talented voice actor. He's been on a lot of episodes of regular show, and in my personal hot take, I think his voice in Frontiers was great. It was supposed to show us an older, more mature Sonic, and I think he did a fantastic job with what he was given in that game. However, my favorite Roger Craig Smith performance was definitely the Sonic Boom TV show, because Boom Sonic was really expressive in the show. A lot of funny moments came from that show, and part of it is thanks to Roger's amazing delivery as Sonic in that series. My favorite voice actor for Sonic is still Jason, but Roger is definitely underrated for sure. One I saw very frequently is people saying Forces was their favorite Sonic game, or just people saying Forces was a good game. And it really surprised me that a lot of people enjoy Forces because, as many of you know, I don't. The boost gameplay is easily my favorite style of gameplay in the Sonic series. I very frequently play Unleashed and Generations a ton, but Forces, I'm sorry, that game is just not memorable. None of the stages stood out to me, the level designs were not fun. One of the big reasons I really like the original boost games is the reaction element, and Forces just kinda took that away, simplifying the levels to the point where it's just kinda boosting forward. The classic Sonic stuff is even worse than it was in Generations, because Generations classic Sonic is actually really fun, but in Forces they messed up the physics. Only things about Forces I really like are the music and the avatar. Now, even though I think Forces is mid as fuck, I think this is the reason why people like it so much. People are feeling nostalgic over Forces. After all, the game came out in 2017. That was basically 7 years ago. I'm starting to think that anyone that likes Forces that much is either younger than 17 years old or played the game when they were younger. That's just my 2 cents though. I don't like Forces. I think it's a 5 out of 10 game. If you like it though, that's on you. You may have your own reasons for liking the game, but just me personally, as a boost gameplay fan, I think Forces absolutely sucks. But if it is your favorite game, I'm happy for you. Go play Sonic Forces till sunrise or whatever. After all, it's your opinion, not mine. And if you don't agree, well that's okay. Let's just respect each other and move on. Because the whole point of this experiment was really if people were going to be respectful to each other's opinions. So please be respectful to everyone, and if their opinion does not align with yours, don't go and hate on them. And if you're willing to go against the person just because they're not agreeing with you, then that's an issue with you, not with them. Unless they say that Sonic Unleashed is mid. If they do say that, go ahead and destroy them. Kelb's MP4 says, I don't think Rouge's nerf is a bad thing. If I'm being for real, people are overreacting the Rouge nerf. It's not even that bad. The only one who's bad is Rouge. Ryan Anthony 2869 says, Sonic Prime is not that bad of a show, and Season 1 is actually pretty good. Sonic Generations modern gameplay is still peak 3D Sonic, and the Final Horizon is mid. Sonic Prime is actually very overhated, as I do really enjoy Sonic Prime. It has some really nice animation, the writing can get really bad at points, especially during Season 3, but I do feel like most of the characters were done pretty well. Definitely agree that the modern gameplay in Sonic Generations is peak 3D Sonic. I do like the stages in Unleashed better, but they're both really good games. And as for the Final Horizon, I didn't really care for it that much. I think the idea of multiple playable characters in a Sonic game is really cool, but I felt like it could have been done better. And then finally for this video, we got the most controversial, juicy, hot, flaming take of this entire video, hell, maybe ever, which is Dr. Eggman saying that the game should have Sonic's name on the cover, replaced with me, Dr. Robotnik. Wow, just wow. And in my opinion, I